Hi, okay, so in a previous video, we sent out an email template to suppliers of tent tarp, tent mat suppliers on Alibaba. We also did global sources. So we contacted every single factory. We spent a couple of days and emailed out 1,000 factories with our template, and now we're going to have to take a look at the response. And just to remind you, the product was this one, the tent tarp. It was on our product list from our research. I mean, the competition wasn't too high. The price was good. It's a super simple item, really easy to start with. So just as an example, we went to Alibaba and we emailed out everybody. We went to global sources and contacted everybody. And the email we sent them was this. So we are an importer of hiking outdoor products. Our head office is in USA, open 2016. And then we asked them some questions. We want their office address, their showroom address, because sometimes the factory have a separate sales office to the factory, which is unusual. Usually that means they're a trading company, and that's fine if they can deliver the quality. And why do I say a trading company is fine? Well, because there's so many games played in China with manufacturers that sometimes it's impossible to know the real factory. So one factory I was working with, they did hundreds of thousands of items for us, and basically you had a factory with 4 floors and then an office area in front of the factory. And the factory owner who was showing me around said, oh yeah, in that office are 5 different trading companies, right? But it's attached to the factory. So if I showed up to meet someone from one of those trading companies, their office is right next to the factory, and then they would walk you around the factory and say, this is our factory, blah, 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 would you buy from us? But actually it's not, it's 2 separate companies, but you would never know. So even being in China, even being based there, every day visiting 3 or 4 factories a day, it's sometimes very, very difficult to distinguish if it's a trading company or the factory itself. And if you're doing this from overseas, it's almost impossible to tell. So really, you have to judge by the quality of the samples, the quality of the pictures and things they send through to you about the factory, the communication. If the communication's good, the samples are good, I usually went ahead. I was okay with that. I just needed to know the location of the office addresses, the factory addresses, so I can verify that information on Google, just check where it is for myself, have a look at the pictures. That's why we asked for that information. Okay, so you get all of that info. We asked for their factory profile, their markets, etc. But what we're really interested in is our actual item, right? The tent tarp. We created a specification, size 8 feet by 10 feet, waterproof and rip-proof material, polyethylene lamination on both sides because the bestseller had that. And we provided a link to Amazon for the product as well that we're using as a reference. So we said similar to this, and it's Amazon's own product, right? Just as a reference. In addition, we asked what materials, what thickness, can you reinforce the corners? And then we asked for some prices. MOQ 2,000. MOQ means minimum order quantity. 2,000 pieces and 5,000 pieces. Sample cost and lead time. How can we add a logo? So we asked quite a lot of questions. But the reason we do this is because anyone who can't answer most of these questions, we need to filter out anyway, right? We don't want to be dealing with someone that isn't used to answering these questions. So there's going to be some responses which are completely useless. And we're going to go through the responses in a second. I haven't had a chance to look at it. For me, I set up a separate email when I'm doing sourcing. It's sourcing@mydomain.com. And basically, all my factory-related emails go straight into that inbox so that it's not crowding my day-to-day work emails, which I want to avoid, because sometimes factories send you utter junk, or somehow that email gets passed around and loads of other people message you. So I want to avoid all the spam, so I keep it separate. It's going to come, so definitely set up a separate email address just for finding products. And then what I also do is sometimes I filter the emails to automatically go into a separate folder in my inbox too, so that then I don't have to look at them even within the sourcing. If I'm doing a particular project, I'll try to filter that as well. Okay, so that's the email we sent out. We did that to 1,000 factories, and now we're going to see what kind of replies we got. So, welcome to Xinhang Trampoline Factory. Okay, so their message is on Alibaba. So I'm going to log into that and have a look in a minute. I just want to see what else I've got in my inbox here. Okay, factory profile. Attach factory profile, own my email. Okay, have they given me a price? Here we go. Wow, what? That's $169 per piece for 2,000 pieces. It seems very, very, very expensive. I'm not sure why he's quoting that. Okay, lead time 50 days for 2,000, 70 days for 5,000. Sample $600 excluding freight. Something's very strange about this one. I'm not sure if they've got the same product or not. Let's have a little look at their presentation. Palm Beach Camping Factory. Honestly, okay. I mean, you're seeing a Chinese factory for the first time. This is very standard. Actually, this is quite a big factory and quite organized. It's all manual. You see, people expect to see factory and then see machines, but it's all Chinese workers at desks making products. So I don't know why their price is so outrageous. This profile also to me seems very, very basic, like someone's put it together by themselves. I would say that this is probably not a serious factory and that this is actually an agent pretending to be a factory, because the profile is just too ridiculous. For someone claiming to have 150 employees and 4,000 square meter factory to send me a free-page PDF as the introduction brochure, I don't believe it, to be honest. I don't believe it's the factory. Price is high, so I'm just going to flag that to come back to. So somehow he's got my email and he's sending me crap. You can see there's loads of emails from this guy. Global Sources Messages Center. Okay. I'm going to log into that in a minute. Same guy sending me loads of spam, which is why I have a separate email address. You can produce the product, but they haven't answered a single question. That really annoys me. Okay, so they can produce plastics material. It's not really related. Okay, let's keep going. You see, the frustration with sourcing is all of this junk you get back, right? So the messages are on Alibaba itself, so I'll go in and I'll check that in a minute. Let's just see what else I have. Okay, so fabric regular is 2510 Oxford. Water pressure. See, I don't know. I don't know what it should be, right? We did a basic specification in the last video when we're building the email to go out to factories, and what we've got here is some questions back from the factory, which is perfect. Why? Because this helps us to narrow down what our final specification should be. They're asking me, is the fabric regular 210D Oxford, and what water pressure needs to take, 1,000, 2,000, or 3,000? Can you show us your logo? Done. Okay, and let's open the file they've sent. Yes, Excel. Okay, oh, this is terrible. But they've just answered my questions this way. And what you'll find with most Chinese salespeople that you deal with is that the presentation of what they send you is terrible. They have no taste, right? If you're used to nice PDFs, nice websites, forget it when sourcing from China. You're just going to get these awful, shitty looking files. You're going to get bad pictures, not good quality, bad websites. You just have to try to sort through and find the diamond in the rough. And just because I would say I don't think I've ever come across a factory with a beautiful website, perfect presentation, really nice present emails, perfect communication. I think it doesn't exist. You have to kind of suspend that for a little while and just go with who seems to be good enough in terms of communication, presentation, images, etc. So they've shown one picture of a showroom, one picture of a factory. So does this seem like a factory to you? If all they've got is one crappy photo of some I could have pulled that off Google. Right? This is their intro, and they're sending me one factory. 60 people, 3,000 square meters, and they claim to do 5 million US a year. Camping gear is their main product. Okay, what else comes in there? They can reinforce the corner. Man, they told me the logo styles, thermal transfer, sewing label, embroidery, silk screen, and they can do peg, carry bag as the standard packaging for the item. And I think that's fine, but we would probably need to put that in the box as well. So they haven't given me any pricing yet, which is annoying. Don't save the changes to that junk. Okay, we're going to flag that for later as well. Okay, then you got all these messages saying I've got messages in Alibaba. Here we go, another one. Okay, in Vietnam. Okay, I didn't email Vietnam, so I'm not sure how they got hold of my details, but once you send stuff out on Alibaba, your email goes everywhere. Okay, looks good. See, this is a much better factory profile, right? It looks more professional. These guys look to me like they actually make these products themselves, and they're not some trading agent who's put it together overnight. Why? Because only a factory would invest into spending the money to do this properly. If it's just a trading agent doing many different products, they're never going to have a good brochure for all their different faces they're presenting. Okay, so legal capital, annual turnover, 38 million. These businesses are incredible, some of them. Company history. This is more of a real factory presentation from a larger factory. From a smaller factory, you wouldn't get this. You'd get something much more basic. Okay, so yep, these guys can definitely do it. They haven't given me a price, so I would have to go back to them again with the specification and get a price. And these are just notifications that I've got emails. Okay. We can meet all your requirements. Great. See, what a reply. It's so typical, right? We can meet all. Great, but you haven't answered any of my questions. Look forward to hearing back from you soon. Well, how am I supposed to... All I'm going to do with this email is I'm going to copy and paste the exact same template I sent before and send that again, right? That's all I have to do. For the other ones, I'll ask them this information. I'll ask them for the price. So what you'll find when dealing with China is sometimes you have to say the same thing 10 times before you get a proper response. So you just have to go through that process, and that's it. Okay, so where was it? I'm lost now. Okay, this one. What is this one? Where's the guy who says he can do all? It was under here somewhere. I'll find it later. Okay, next. Sorry, we don't do rain tarp. Okay, and then they send some other product because they don't do it. They still want to see if you'll buy their other junk. I like to take a look at this stuff just to see what it is out of curiosity. Footrest hammock. I do hammocks. $11 each. $3.25 for this kind of hammock. $3 for 100 pieces. I mean, it's not bad. Holds up to 600 pounds. It's interesting to see, right? To see these different products. $8.45 for a chair like this. I mean, how much does that sell for? $7.15 for this kind of chair. I'm sure it sells for at least kind of 40, 50 bucks. So it's always interesting to see other products too. Okay, but it's not related to what we're doing at the moment, so I'm just going to ignore that. Continue down. Factory specialized in outdoor products. Okay, great. No, you notice again, they haven't answered any of the questions I've sent, right? So they're talking about they do camping products. And this is a very typical presentation, to be honest. The factory looks crappy. They are crappy. Some of them stink like, urine in the summer. It's just not nice at all, really. It's completely different to what you expect. This is a mess. I don't know how they can include this in a photo to potentially win a customer, right? It doesn't make any sense to me how they can logically justify in their heads that this is good. But this is what they used to. See, if they sent this, fine. It's organized, it's tidy. But when everything's a mess like this, it shouldn't be included, right? It's not appealing at all. But they cannot differentiate the same standards that we have in terms of what we would expect. So these are the kind of products they produce. They do make the tarp backdrop style thing. But again, no price for my item. He's read my email and hasn't given me a price. This sales guy's just been lazy and sent out the typical presentation. So I'm going to have to copy and paste my email again to this guy too. Right, there's loads of notifications. Alright, here we go. This guy who can do all. We need to copy and paste our email to him too. So you can see this process can be very frustrating. You're not, even though I ask very clear questions, very few factories are going to respond. Okay, here we go. $4.1 finally. Woohoo! $4, 3.9 lead time. So 18 to 24 days to make up to 5,000 pieces. Sample $20 and 7 days to send to our office. Okay, this is a decent response finally. So to me, I'm putting these guys higher up in my mental preference. How do I categorize? Green. Good. Okay. Why? Because they're actually giving me a more decent reply. Factory's a mess again. You can see all of these camping factories a bit of messy. Yes. I wonder what that MP4 is. I'm going to open that up. Okay, so I mean, Jinhua Dongsheng Outdoor Products Co. Limited. A very typical Chinese factory name. It's crap. Sourcing agent, trading supplier. Yeah, so it's an agent. Their website. Let's have a look. So you're beginning to get a feel for how these emails look, and I mean, you're just going to have to be patient and go back to the ones that don't give you a proper price and ask for it again till you get it. If they can't give it to you after 2 emails, I would just ignore them. Looks good quality. If they can make that for that price, it looks fantastic quality, right? Looks like a nice picture. So we don't know until we see the samples. And the fact that they only have 1 picture is a bit odd, right? They've answered the questions, but then the rest of the email is not great. Let's see what this is. Here we go, a little intro video for you. What a mess. Okay, but the storehouse is relatively good. So in production it can get messy because there's many different parts that go together. You saw there, showroom. I mean, this is a very typical factory. It looks kind of basic, but I would say that's a good reply. They're top so far from the ones I've seen. Okay, fabric cutting, fabric preparing, the packing area, hammocks manufacturer, the showroom looks good. The workshop, a bit tidier than the others. Okay, that's good. That's a nice reply. And then finally, see, this is the kind of company that we want to deal with. So we have 2 now where they gave us a solid reply. It doesn't matter the price is a bit off because you're still early in the process, and you'll narrow that down. And so what I do is I just go through all these emails, and you can see there's a lot of junk that comes back. There's a few good emails, and there's a few people who have the product type they claim to but haven't given a price. So I'll give them a second chance by resending the email. So then I'll put all of this into a Google Sheets document, and then I have basically a summary of the different products, etc. Right, what's this? Okay, they can do it. I don't know if they've given me a price. Let's see. So they sell to EU and Africa, right? If they haven't shipped to America, how do they know the shipping documents that you need for sending to America? That's why I want to know what markets they sell to. So again, I would give them the benefit of the doubt, and I would ask them again, have you ever shipped to America? If they've never shipped, I don't want to deal with them. Why? Because there may be some specialist shipping documents that are needed that these guys are not aware of because they've never shipped there before. So you want factories with experience shipping to the markets you plan to sell in. Again, they've given suggestions for material. I had no clue what the material should be, so this is starting to help me narrow down. So when I go back to factories and ask for samples, I can say, can you show me this material and this material, right? To all the factories, so I can compare everything. What weight per square do you want? Do you have testing requirement? ISO standard or fire retardant? It's important for us to quote to you. See, they're teaching. So this process, the first time you do it, even though we're looking at what is a very simple item, right? We're looking at a tent tarp. Look at how many questions have come back on the specification, the materials, things that we don't know. So this process is an education process. By going through the emails, reading what every factory says, you learn about what different factors go into the price and the quote, and then you can choose the absolute best product. So I like these as well. They're good. So I'm going to highlight those and come back to them. Yeah, you've got the product. Outdoor gears. You're a pioneer, but you can't give me a quote. Have you given me a quote below? Nope. And they're in Hong Kong. So most likely they're going to be more expensive. Okay. So we'll go back to them as well. Global messages. A lot of the emails just stay in the Alibaba center. Their product looks pretty thick, right? Looks pretty tough and resilient. So we need to be, wow, okay. But they haven't given a price. Again, they've got DFT Hong Kong in the email, and then they're based in Shenzhen. So let's have a look at their website. I'm curious. Okay, yeah, they kind of do these kind of products. But again, it's pretty crappy email. Outdoor mat series. Waterproof picnic mat. Okay, so they do these kind of items. I need to go back and send them the email again. Okay, what else is in here? Your workmate, Shelly, is gonna come back to me later. Thank you very much for telling me. Okay, is that everything? Looks like it. Okay. Right, let's check in the Alibaba Center now. So here we go. Next. So many factories choose to just reply in here. Why am I not able to scroll up on this message? There we go. Okay, so I mean, I'll keep that in, but they haven't given answer. They haven't answered any of my questions, which is really frustrating because I want those answers. What do you inquiry? Great. Let's delete that. Delete. Nope, I don't want to quote through WeChat. We can do it here, so I'm going to resend her the message here. Thank you for your inquiry. You've got everything here. So I'm going to give them a second chance and copy and paste my own message again. Why is this not, why are they not giving me any reply? It's useless, right? It's unbelievable. It's shocking. So they haven't come back to me with anything. Okay, so delivery time. MOQ 3,000 meters. Okay. Let's see what they've got here. Just show me. Okay, so wow. Okay, they've got different materials. They definitely. Okay, so it's like outdoor marquee tent, rubber boats. So Navy SEALs there. It's definitely much. They're definitely much thicker material. I don't know whether they specifically do the tops the way we want. It looks like, oh, okay. They're definitely experts in doing this kind of plasticky coated material. So they may be good to talk to see if they can do, just even if it's to work out what the material they recommend for that kind of product is. I'll go back to them and ask. Again, like useless. And to me, this is, so they're called Taizo Harbor Security Tech Company, right? So this is just some agent trying to jump in and do the products. It's more likely it's just an agent. They're not really related to my product, so I'm going to delete that. Yeah, not interested. Okay, you don't do. Nothing, so I'll copy and paste the message again. Thanks for your inquiry. Great. Thanking me, but no answers to my questions. It's extremely frustrating. I I don't want a welding machine, so that's irrelevant. So sourcing can be a lot of work, as you can see, and the main reason is because you can't get a straight answer, right? People don't just say, yes, we can do it, or no, we can't. You get these ridiculous, thanks for your inquiry, we'll contact you soon, and then nothing. Great. Plastics, okay. Right there, anti-cold crack requirements, fire retardant, see? So they've asked me these questions. I don't know, so I need to check what that means by Googling it, and then I know more about the product. So what I tend to do, right, is I'll go through every single email from every single factory, take all of these questions, put it in one document, do some Googling, do some research, and try to narrow down what the answers should be, and then try to get everybody to quote against the same final specification. We gave them a draft specification here, basic, right? Temp tart, similar to this. This is the size, waterproof and rip material, coated plastic on both sides. Now we know that it doesn't need to be fire retardant, doesn't need to be crack proof. What thickness, what exact material are we using? Okay, those things aren't mentioned on Amazon, so we need to do a bit of our own research. And what I would normally do is ask one of the factories to send me like 5 to 10 different material samples, so I can touch and feel and see what those products look like to then decide, right? At the beginning, this process is an education process as well. You don't know all the answers. I don't know all the answers. I've sourced thousands of products, and most of the time you've never heard of the materials. But by putting together all of this information, you'll be able to get to a final product which is good in your price range, and we'll cover the profitability and the costs, etc. in another video. At the moment, we're just trying to understand more about this product. Okay, so I'm just going to do a few more emails and then wrap up this video just to give you an idea. Okay, how can I help you? They got a temp picture, so I'll give them a chance. Great. Sending me, what's this? Folding tent. Okay, that's not what I want. Plastic sheets, okay. Kind of what I want, so I'll give them a chance. You can see most answers are not great. Tensile fabric structure and dome and hotel tent, so not really what I want. He's rejected my reply, so I'm going to delete his reply. We're going to play that game. Okay. So we've been through all of these emails. I do have global sources as well. Please attach, find our factory profile. Where? I can't see it. There we go. How do I open this file? I will work that out later because this is now annoying me. Not much use. Okay, let's go back to the message center. Not a great system. See, I've got lots of different. I think it's this one. Lots of different logins for this. Because the problem is, some of these websites put a limit on how many emails you can send, and so basically, I create multiple accounts, and well, I'm not interested in this. Okay, so we got another batch of emails here. I'm just going to run through these as well quickly. Hammers and swings. What's your reply? That's my message. Where's your reply? Oh, okay, here. Great, so you give me your email. Okay, so she sent me an email, so she's one of the ones sent me an email. Canopy tent. Do we have a reply here? I can't see a reply. This global messaging is terrible, huh? Where are the replies? They've changed the. Okay. I can't see where they're replying, to be honest. Where's the reply? responded. More info. Oh, that's terrible. They've updated the interface and now I can't see the replies. I don't know what they've done here. Inquiries. Okay, I'll work out how to do that later. Okay, so I need to go through these emails. I've got, wow, great, 66 emails here, but it's going to be much of the same thing, right? It's going to be loads of junk emails, a few that actually replied properly, and a few where I just need to copy and paste the email again. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back, I'm going to make a summary of all the emails I've got, all the specifications, all the questions, put that together, and then I'll show you that process, the summary version. This video has gone on a little bit long, but I wanted you to look over my shoulder as I look at these emails, so you're not shocked when you get crappy emails the way I do too. And I've been with huge buyers to these trade shows and looking at factories, you know, some of the biggest companies in the world. I've been there with them as their representative, and it's the same crappy response. It's not just because you're a newbie or starting out. This is what you get when you start to try to source products. It's not an easy process. Okay, thank you.